All right, for this thermochemistry problem, they're asking us to calculate the amount of energy released when 20 grams of glucose is burned. We've got the chemical reaction for the combustion of glucose unbalanced, and we also know the delta H for this reaction. So this is the overall enthalpy for the reaction. So we're going to solve this like we would using the stoichiometric method. And we know that with any stoich problem, our first step is to balance the equation. So in order for this to be balanced, I need to put a coefficient of 6, and this guy's just a 1. The other thing I have to do in these thermochemistry problems is we learned about the 4 ways of communicating enthalpy, and one of those ways was to show like this, delta H equals whatever the value is. Another way was to show it as part of the equation, as a term in the reaction. So because this is negative, it's exothermic, and it will be shown on the product side. So I'm going to show 2,801 kilojoules of energy. So just like we have a coefficient for oxygen indicating I've got 6 moles of oxygen, the 2,801 kilojoules of energy, this is like the coefficient of energy. So we're going to use this value as if it were a coefficient in our mole ratio. So start by writing out the information that we know. So I've got a mass of 20 grams of glucose. My molar mass of glucose, if we calculate that, you should get a value of 180.18 grams per 1 mole. The information that I'm solving for is the amount of energy here. So how much energy is released when 20 grams of glucose is burnt? So we're going to set it up the same way we would any stoich problem. Start with what you know and work your way towards what you're solving for. So we're going to take our known, which is the glucose, and I know that I have 20 grams of C6H12O6, and we'll just put that over 1. To cancel out grams of glucose and convert to moles of glucose, I can use my molar mass. So I want grams in the denominator, so I've got 180.18 grams of glucose per 1 mole of glucose. And grams of glucose are going to cancel here. At this step in a stoich problem is where you'd use your mole ratio. So you'd convert moles of your known to moles of your unknown. Well, rather than having moles of energy, we've got kilojoules, but we're going to set the mole ratio up the same way. So I want to have moles of glucose in the denominator so that I can cancel that out. And I want to have kilojoules of energy in the numerator. So I'm converting to kilojoules. And we use this value, 2,801, as if it were like the coefficient. And the coefficient of glucose is just a 1, so moles of glucose cancel, and I'm left with kilojoules of energy. If you type this into your calculator exactly as is, you'll get a value of 311 kilojoules.